are listening to Press A Gaming Podcast, hosted by Zephyr Zero, presented by Realm of the Mist Entertainment. It's recording.
Oh, well, fuck. I couldn't hear you over Anvil talking. Hi, citizens of the realm. We had a little bit of a cold open there.
Look at this.
Welcome back to another episode of Press A Gaming.
Look at this. Last episode, he completely foregone me being able to outro out. And this time around, he ignores me when I fucking tell him we're recording.
Fail.
Wow.
It sounds to me like he doesn't like you.
Chris, what did you do?
It's not what Chris did, it's that you keep talking.
Well, to be fair, I am the meme king now.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Oh god, this just suddenly turned into an episode of After Hours. But let me be clear, this is still Press A Gaming, and I am your host, Zephyr Zero. Today I am joined by Wild High 77 again.
Hashtag Ramble Rant.
So,
Anthony Anthem, a.k.a. Mr. a.k.a.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Anthony Anthem, a.k.a. Black Fabio, a.k.a. Sit a glass on her booty and don't let it spill, a.k.a. I'm here to do whatever it takes, free will.
One half of the sock drawer, Dusty. Let me get through the intros first.
Hold on. I have to address this glass on the ass thing. 2 girls, 1 cup.
Well, that's only in my case.
I'm sorry, Dusty. Go ahead.
Anyway, one half of the sock drawer, Dusty.
I don't feel love right now, but I am here. Hi, people.
all hail the goddess Empress Flora, stopper of rains, bringer of flowers.
Black Wings.
Everybody, it's your friend Black Wings here to love on Dusty as much as she wants and having a good time.
All hail.
And Anvil.
All hail.
All-consuming flame of gluttony. And the meme king, apparently, now. Ha 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 ha!
The Man King.
Meme.
Thank God. I finally got through the introductions.
Also, sort of on the topic of this and last podcast, Mario Kart is releasing a Hot Wheels line.
Okay.
Get the hell out. Really?
Oh, no.
Nope, it's legit.
Hot Wheels.
And it's not just releasing, it's already out.
Yeah.
Great.
Hot Wheels.
I know what my son's going to be bugging me for. Daddy, get me the Luigi one.
Hot Wheels.
I want Yoshi.
Anyway, so today in our episode, we are going to be discussing a little bit like last episode, except this time for party games, it's going to be the physical kind, the ones that require a box and maybe cards or a tarp of some sort, possibly a blindfold.
Blindfolded Twister.
You a freaky freak.
You mentioned last episode you wanted to talk about that one.
No, yeah, it's sitting right here. It's literally never been opened. I've looked at it, and what it is like the normal tarp for Twister. It's got the yellow and red and blue dots on them.
From what I've heard, it's got like raised shapes on.
Yes.
So you can discern the difference.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Is it's actually textured differently in each dot. There are colored dots, so that way I guess you could figure it out because you're blindfolded. So you're still playing Twister, but you're playing it without being able to see what's going on.
That's not like something that's played at a swingers party.
It is definitely.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
It's definitely a clothing optional game. I mean,
Oh.
Hey! That all depends on the age range of the players involved.
That's
Okay,
true.
first of all,
That is
legal, please, legal.
What?
I like my whiskey aged 30 years or above.
Okay, we're talking about players, not whiskey.
I know.
I like my players
I'm
like
making
I
a
like
joke
my
here.
whiskey. I stand by my statement.
I'm making a joke here, folks. Damn, that was actually some good.
The lights,
stuff.
the mic, the bass, the treble. I like my coffee black like I like my metal.
And I don't know, the hair of my girls.
Full of sugar?
I don't know, full of chocolate.
All right.
Let me know when we're gonna get back on topic, guys. I'll be over here.
Yeah, I'm right there with Dusty.
We're still
I'm gonna try to
talking. We're still talking about blindfolded Twister. As far as I'm concerned, we're still on topic.
Okay.
That is a physical party game.
Yeah, but I was helping some people from
I mean,
fucking
if you want
drowning
to play Twister by yourself, more power to you. But like, good luck playing Twister by yourself blindfolded.
Hey, fuck you. I did that one time and I lost.
Oh.
But
Yourself a reach around.
All right.
This is a reach
So-
around joke, isn't it?
As someone who was in a fraternity in college, I went to some weird fucking parties.
Me, I wasn't in the fraternity, but I partied with the fraternity.
I went to some weird fucking parties, and I can tell you, Naked Twister, always a disappointment. Just saying.
well, yeah.
I
Oil
mean,
wrestling is much better.
I mean, basically, you got a whole bunch of people. There's sweat, there's smells, there's unknown things going in unknown places.
Let that
Hey,
go.
hey,
It is not
hey.
the yellow dot.
Porn?
Naked oil wrestling.
Yeah,
First
naked oil.
to get a boner loses.
Hey, that is not fair when you are fighting women. They
Wait a
don't
minute.
get boners.
Wait a minute. I got a question.
Sounds
I got
like
a
a
serious
you problem.
question. I got a serious question. We're talking about physical party games. We're talking about like in the room playing a game, and it's not anything to do with a console or a PC, right?
Yes.
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 Does Ookie Cookie count?
What the hell is Ookie Cookie?
What is
I'm
Ookie
afraid
Cookie?
to know the answer.
You have a cookie.
I'm really scared.
You have a cookie.
Oh,
you
shit.
set it on the floor, and
No.
everybody furiously works it until the last person who finishes has to eat the cookie.
Oh no! Why?
Huh?
Why
And you
would
guys
do this?
and you guys say you went to a fraternity.
Okay, first of all, I'm black. You forget my. I got
I'm
melatonin.
sorry.
I don't do that.
I'm sorry,
shit.
Chris. I need to take this back a bit. Chris, did you just describe to me a game in which you bukkake a cookie, and
Yes.
the last person who finishes has to eat it?
Yes.
That's not
Why would
something
you play
fraternities
that?
do, bro. I don't
Jesus
know what
Christ!
Christian porn you've been watching, but that is not what fraternities do.
Okay, Chris, what
That
kind
is
of party
definitely
were you going
hazing.
to?
So
As
re-
someone who's
re-
been in a circle jerk, I am even disgusted by this.
So I was curious and I regret it, but I
Why
went
would you
ahead
ruin
and
a
I
cookie?
googled it. Urban Dictionary, and Anvil's gonna be disappointed with this. Ookie Cookie. Step 1, place cookies on table. Step 2, gather bored guys, preferably frat members. Step 3,
Yeah.
get them to stroke it. Last one to come eats the sponge or spooched cookie. Fuck that. That sounds
That is
wrong
not
on
what
so many goddamn levels.
Finally, a game I'd have an advantage in.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm sorry, I
first of
saw
all-
the opportunity. I took it.
First of all, you know,
Don't
I'm
worry,
all
it
for
wasn't
everybody needs
premature.
Protein.
Except it was.
You know what?
Very
Some
much
people need
so.
some protein in their lives,
That's
but
the
at the same
joke.
time, ugh, oh, oof. So, do you want some baby dressing with your cookie?
All right. moving on from the not child-friendly party games
Well,
I was gonna say,
they did
let's
say
talk about something to bring
to
Dusty
another
back.
not child-friendly party game.
Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he stole my thunder.
Adult, apples to apples.
Dusty,
Basically.
you like that game, right?
Well, yes, I do actually.
Yeah, but how
I-
much does she like that game? Quick.
I'm
poll.
not very good at it, but I do like the game.
That's such a lie. Such a lie.
Cards Against Humanity is such a cultural phenomenon. I'm still building an Air Force related expansion to the card game that I've named Memos About Maintainers, and it's all about aircraft maintenance. I'm still working on it because it's not quite big enough.
You know what? I just had a thought.
Is it ever?
Oh man, that's got to be a card now.
I just had a thought, and it was based off of what you said earlier. Like, we ever get big enough to go to cons and do like live performances. With this idea that we talked about in the last episode, where we start doing like video let's plays and all that of us playing these games that are going to destroy people's futures and all, and it's in topic. It's in topic with what we're talking about today. We ever do a con or whatever, we got to do a in front of a live studio audience gaming session, and we got to do something like the one where you sit there with the hand with the whipped cream pie.
Oh, God.
Pie in the face?
Pie in the face. We got to do shit like that or something in front of the studio audience. But instead of the pie, it's an ookie cookie.
Do pie in the face, then mouth off. I hate that game so fucking much.
I mean, there are party games. I agree with you. I don't like the mouth off idea either. It's just, you know, the idea of putting that fucking thing in your mouth anyway. But I mean,
well,
like,
my problem with it is I spent 4 years having to wear braces and having to put something like that in my mouth so that my dentist was able to work on my teeth. That brings back fucking nightmares. And the fact that they made a game out of it is wrong.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what would be fun, and these are party game, definitely party games. Things like Pictionary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or charades.
There's a card game I've got that's always fun called Super Fight.
Oh God, I love Super Fight.
I know nothing about Super Fight.
So Super Fight is a game in which you have character decks and a bunch of different modifier type cards, and what happens is you pit two players against each other at a time, and generally everybody else at the table is then a judge that votes on who wins the fight, and your two fighters pick a character card from their hand and play a couple of modifiers on it. Depends on card rules and everything, but and then they argue over who of the two characters they played would win the fight, obviously arguing that their character that they played would win. And then after a certain time limit is up with their arguing, the rest of the players who are judging vote on who they think should have won.
That's fair
so you
enough,
you can play it with anywhere from 3 to however many players you want.
Yeah, but you know what? If we're adding a game like that into the fold as far as party games, like, how do we not include like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, but it's not. It's only like a 2-player combination.
Not correct.
It's not just a 2-player competition, because the rest of the players who are judging are playing just as much as the two who are arguing.
In the next turn, it's 2 different people.
It's just one person. The 2 players become lawyers basically, and the rest of the players are now the jury.
No, I get that, but my point being is, like, Magic. Magic, you can have up to 6, 7, 8 players playing at the same time.
Also, now that I described Super Fight as that, I desperately want to see somebody make a game that is the 2 players who are playing the current round take the roles of the defense and prosecution, and then the rest of the players are the jury. and they have to make their case for like different case files. Like, I feel like that'd be a fun party game.
I mean, yeah, sure, but like I still stand by my point. Like, how do you not include something like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh, which can be done with more than just 2 players playing at the same time?
I would say more Magic the Gathering than Yu-Gi-Oh, because more than 2-person duels in Yu-Gi-Oh is generally a shit show, whereas Magic the Gathering really has mastered the whole multiplayer Magic thing, because being a player of Magic the Gathering for a little while in my life, we had some pretty ridiculously sized multiplayer Magic games.
Oh yeah.
Cutthroat Magic is hilarious as fuck.
Well, it was really fun playing Cutthroat with EDH rules.
Yes.
Which we used to do. And this goes to tell you how long it's been since I played Magic the Gathering. The last time I played it, we called it EDH, not Commander.
Fair.
Now, Chris brings up Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh, and I want to ask you a question. There was a game that you and I played a few months back, which name I forget. It's a deck building game, though. Do you remember the name of that game that we played?
There's been a handful of them. It could possibly be Star Realms. Was it Star Realms?
No. Never mind. It's not worth the trouble. But another great party game, and if you want this to last from the beginning of the party to the end of the party in one go through, everyone's favorite, Munchkin.
I was gonna say Munchkin.
Yeah, Munchkin's a good one. I'll agree with you on that one.
I don't know.
Stab your buddy!
If you don't have a hand limit, it really makes that game get pretty fucking ridiculous.
Fuck
Dude,
Fuck
you don't
you,
even
Anvil.
have to have a hand limit. The game actively encourages you to cheat.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very
Well,
true.
and
Like, the
Anvil
game
is
legitimately tells you it's only cheating if you get caught.
Well, Anvil specifically is referencing the first time that I ever played Munchkin with him, and I had that game lock, stock, and barrel, and next thing I know, he just fucking rickrolled me.
Well, I mean,
I threw my entire fucking hand at him. I was like, nah, not happening.
Munchkin is best played when you play it cooperatively up until somebody's about to hit level 10, and then you just all collectively stab that
I mean,
Well,
So basically, a Caesar.
Exactly.
I think I'm in the right group here to say this. I think if we're talking collective cooperative tabletop games, you know, whether board game or otherwise, or card game as we're discussing now, I think we're remiss if we don't just say it straight out. Let's call the elephant in the room. Dungeons and fucking Dragons.
Yeah.
That is a game. I do that every Sunday.
100%. Your main group of people is called a fucking party.
And you could have a lot of people in one game.
You can. I don't recommend it because it gets a little bit bogged down, but you can.
But if you have the right group, a lot of people is actually very useful, because then, like, everybody else is doing their turns while you're having your side conversations and not paying attention. And by the time you're paying attention again, it's almost your turn.
I wonder, if somebody wanted to try and put down build the infrastructure, I wonder if it'd be possible to do a pen and paper MMO.
Pen and paper was the original MMO.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but like I'm talking a massive campaign that is interconnected to like a whole bunch of other campaigns that are all running concurrently.
I was attempting that with the Chronicles of the Lost Realm and Four Corners of Hell storylines, but we saw how that went.
Yeah, we fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
It was rough. It was a bad.
Never get involved in a land war in Asia.
But no, and let me clarify when I say Dungeons and Dragons. Of course, I mean the tabletop game D&D, but I'm kind of using it as a generalized for all tabletop RPGs. It could be Cyberpunk, could be White Wolf, could be fucking Vampire the Masquerade. Doesn't matter. tabletop RPGs are definitely like the ultimate party games next to things like Monopoly and fucking
True.
and Uno and stuff. They were designed purposely for bringing people together to play.
That and cards.
Hey, yo,
It's
Godfather.
a standard deck of fucking cards.
Yep.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
I mean,
The original party.
Euchre's a great party game. You get four people, pair up for partners and teams, and go at it.
Well, here's the thing, though. With just a deck of cards, how many fucking games is that? More than I can possibly even begin to fathom.
No,
That is-
Spades,
he's not.
hearts,
He is not wrong.
euchre, gin rummy, hand
Yeah.
and foot.
Hearts.
I already said
President.
hearts.
Mighty
Fuck-
Malice.
Fuck, you throw a little pegboard in there, you got cribbage.
Cribbage.
Throw a second deck of cards in there, and you can go up to 20 people.
Solitaire.
Third deck of cards, man. If you keep adding decks of cards, you can have as many people playing as you want.
Jokers and marbles.
War.
War.
Oh my God, War.
Old maid.
War is the card game that will ruin friendships. We were talking about games that ruin friendships. War will do it.
Families.
Yeah,
man.
well.
Slapjack. The
Slapjack.
ultimate
Oh
game.
no, that is the game that'll ruin friendships.
So that's the game that ruins your hand. You have that one friend that throws his fist instead of his palm down that one time, and you know what? Everyone hesitates afterwards.
What are
For
you
good fucking reason.
What are you talking about? That was you.
It was fucking
Exactly.
me.
Now, Chris mentioned Dungeons and Dragons before for being a party game, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. What about the game that takes place after Dungeons and Dragons is done and everyone goes back to the tavern? I'm talking about Red Dragon Inn.
Correctly, a party game. And it's a party game you can drink with, too.
Very much so.
I love that it's a simulated drinking game that literally makes it the easiest thing in the world to turn into an actual drinking game.
Yup.
And one of the things that I love about this is over the last couple of months, I've actually dedicated some time, and I now have acquired all of the characters and expansions for Red Dragon Inn that have come out to date, which includes up to 50 characters and 5 different game modes, including a different way of you being able to do the gambling side bets. And that game is never going to be the same.
wow.
Red Dragon Inn is pretty fun.
It is. I'll agree with that one.
I would like to play Red Dragon. Sounds really fun.
It is a great time. It's another one of those games, just like Dungeons and Dragons. You don't want to have too many people in because everything gets bogged down real quick. But the creators of it have actually created a couple of game modes to make it so that instead of you playing one-on-one, you can have a group of people playing together against another group, and suddenly instead of playing with only a max of 6 people, you're playing with a max of 20 people.
Oh, hell to the no. That's a lot.
Well, and while you can play with 20 individuals all playing characters for themselves, it's not exactly recommended because a lot of the times you'll end up having people getting knocked out of the game before it even gets to their first turn.
Yeah, you would know all about that, wouldn't you, drink it, bitch?
That wasn't even a that high of a person game. We just all ganged up on you because you were getting mouthy.
I'm sorry. I had 2 shots of sake and I was feeling frisky. Give me a goddamn break.
Well, you talk about ganging.
That's all it takes, apparently.
Just remember, you made yourself the threat player.
Ladies, remember, and all it takes to get Black Wings frisky is apparently 2 shots of sake. Ladies.
Good sake.
Well, since you're mentioning
Also,
games,
let's be honest here. In any game that involves me and my wife, I'm probably going to end up siding with my wife. Until it's just the 2 of us, and then all bets are off.
if we're talking about games that 1 destroy friendships and 2 you could actually gang up on somebody and remove them from the game before they even get their first turn. Let's talk about Risk.
Oh God, Risk.
I'm so glad I never played that game.
I actually enjoyed it.
That's actually a shame because Risk is actually really fun.
Yes.
Risk
You
is
know
one
what
of those
game
games.
I really liked, and for a long time I got the names mixed up with Risk? Settlers of Catan.
Oh, I love Settlers
Settlers of
And
Catan.
I
Even
love
better
that
than
game.
Risk.
And for some
Yes.
reason in my head, for years, I would mix up the names, Risk and Settlers of Catan, and people would be like, let's play Risk. I'd be like, fuck yeah, I love Risk. And they pull it out and be like, that's not Settlers of Catan.
You know, I did something similar when I was growing up because
Nobody
one of my
wants your
favorite
goddamn
games.
sheep.
It's not a party game so much, but I used to confuse Risk with it all the time. Was a game called Stratego.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Stratego.
I know that one.
I loved Stratego.
To be fair, Stratego and Risk are pretty
fair.
similar.
They are pretty similar. They are pretty similar, but I love Stratego up until I discovered the fucking hidden bombs. God damn those
Yeah.
things.
So, what did I say? Oh, speaking of sheep, you know what game I really like? That's another one that's really easy to mess with people.
Don't
Sheriff
wait, Daddy.
Nottingham,
Oh, yep, Sheriff of Nottingham.
where
Oh, God.
you take turns being the sheriff, and everybody else has to wheel their cart of goods into town and pay taxes on what they have. And you can choose to search their cart or not. That being said, if you search their cart and what they said they had is exactly what they had, you pay them. However, if what they said they have is not what they have, they pay you for everything that they didn't claim. And you take any contraband they tried to sneak in. And the contraband is worth so much more than anything you can claim. And on top of it, you can pay the sheriff. If you're a player and you think someone else is sneaking stuff in, you can bribe the sheriff to check their cart. Or you can bribe the sheriff not to check your cart. So it becomes a lot of people making deals to
Strategy and bluffing.
The sheriff to search someone else's cart.
We have a friend of ours that goes by the moniker of Noon, and that's spelled in the traditional Welsh spelling of NWNN. It actually stands for noob with no name. We played a game of Sheriff of Nottingham that Noon ended up winning because he spent the entire game playing as the legitimate businessman.
And he was
Everybody fucking kept trying to call him out on it.
And the issue was
he was
that, like,
never lying.
the
You know what?
issue-
It
issue
reminds
is
me.
that he always had a ridiculous amount of one thing, like an unrealistic amount. Like he'd be like, "I have 5 chickens." That's your entire hand. Your entire hand. You drew nothing but chickens. You're telling me you drew nothing but chickens. That's what you're saying. I have 5 chickens. I'm searching this fucking cart. And sure enough, he'd have 5 goddamn chickens.
This
How did
reminds
you
me of
only draw chickens?
Why does he have 5 chickens?
this reminds me of a card game. This reminds me of a card game, like a typical playing card deck of poker deck of cards that you would play with a bunch of people called Bullshit.
Yes.
That's essentially it, yeah.
Classic.
That's really what you guys are describing is what it's kind of reminding me of, where you would try to bluff your way into getting rid of your hand.
It's bullshit with some extra tokens.
That's right. Now, if you want to talk about strategic and bluffing games, Dusty, what's that game that I introduced you in Salem to not that long ago?
I was going to say,
that you guys...
I've been playing I've been cheating on you. Patches gave me another game that I actually enjoy better than Coup.
What?
Oh no!
What?
Oh,
Hey guys, I'll talk to you in 3 hours. I gotta go talk to Dusty.
In person.
oh.
Thank God I'm off
Tension
tomorrow.
in the air.
Okay, it's called One Night Ultimate Alien.
Is it like One Night Ultimate Werewolf?
But better.
Define better.
Because it has aliens.
How can you get better than One Night Ultimate Werewolf?
Because it has aliens.
Yes. No.
Shut up.
No, actually, my kids actually were playing the werewolf game at school. It was one of the things the teacher would reward them with. And I actually had never gotten a chance to play it, only maybe one time. And then Patches dropped off the Alien version, so I debuted it with the children. I forced Salem over, and we tried it. And the kids even said, better than that. And now we can't even stop playing it. So anybody that says, hey, I'm in the area, immediately like, you want to come play a board game with us, or card game, what do you want to call it?
Yeah, no, anything in the One Night series, whether it's One Night Ultimate Werewolf, Alien, Superhero, what have you, those are fantastic games. I would definitely agree on that.
So,
oh my God, Cow is a character.
Yes, Cow is a kid. That's one of my favorites. So you can tip the cow. It's awesome. But yes, I know, right? The aliens tip the cow. It's great. But
what the fuck?
Wild shit right there.
I'm telling you, you've got to get this game.
So
I would fuck with that. Shoot.
So before Dusty broke the news of her cheating on me, the game I was going to reference is called Coup, and essentially it is you playing with two cards in front of you, and you can play as any one of 5 characters and completely bluff your way around it, and it's up to the other players playing to figure out whether or not you're telling the truth or cheating, and last player standing wins. And it can turn messy very, very fast.
Yeah.
There was a game my wife and I played with her family while we were visiting her grandparents in Pennsylvania. I can't freaking remember what the heck it was called. I know that there were like characters like Ambassador, Courtesan.
That would be Coup.
Oh, that is Coup? Okay.
That is Coup.
The Ambassador, the Captain, the Inquisitor, the...
Yes. That, yep, all of those characters appeared. So yes, Coup. The Magistrate.
Yep.
No, Coup is an amazing game. I do like it.
Each character can do certain things, and people can call you out for whether or not they think you're actually that person and able to do those things.
Yeah, because Coup's all about lying. Well, so is the One Night Ultimate Alien, but the difference between the two is Coup is nothing but lying. One Night Ultimate Alien, you have more to it. I think that's why I like it better.
Also, One Night Ultimate Alien is like the people only really get one chance to figure out who's the bad, who's the alien, who's the werewolf, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Coup is you get a couple of chances to try and figure out how each person is playing, to try and figure out, I don't actually think you're playing the character you said you're playing.
And that's because Coup, you're supposed to lie. That's all it is straight lying.
So,
like you really gotta pay with Coup. You really gotta pay attention, because one turn somebody could say I'm this character and do their action, and then the very next time their turn rolls around, they do an action that's completely not what that character can do. And if you weren't paying attention, you'll forget that like they did something that wasn't the actual character.
Exactly.
So something I'm shocked hasn't come up yet. 2 of the oldest party games I can think of. Pictionary and Charades.
Oh, that's a very good
Chris
point.
mentioned Pictionary earlier.
And
Oh,
charades.
and charades.
I mentioned both.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I missed the charades part.
However,
I caught the Pictionary.
However, I will throw one out there for everybody. How about fucking Clue?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I
Clue.
forgot
Oh my
about
God.
Clue.
One of our friends, her daughter, got a children's Clue version where you had to like figure out who ate the cake crumbs. Let me tell you how fucking complex this game for children is. You know how complex Clue was? Multiply that by like algebra.
Wait.
Like,
You sure it's for
like
kids?
12 extra steps. Like, what the fuck is this shit? And it's for children.
My 4-year-old niece, this past Christmas got a board game that I promise you, Yeah, no matter how smart you think you are, you realize that you're no fucking rocket scientist until you're trying to put this thing together without it fucking going off, falling apart, or just not working all together.
You talking about Rat Trap?
Mousetrap.
Yeah.
Oh
Knew it.
my
Called
god,
it.
that's a nightmare for any parent.
I love that game.
That game
Oh,
is
God.
but it doesn't always work the way because you get the perforation wrong and you throw the whole machine off, and next thing you know it, you are screaming inside of a pillow in the living room because you're trying to fix this up for your kids or your nieces, and next thing you know, you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, the humanity! Why did I buy this shit?" But you
Yeah,
still
no,
keep
once-
trying to go at it. Next thing you know, you're looking on eBay for replacement parts, and then it's just a whole shit show.
Yeah, no. One stray breeze from the opposite end of the house, and that entire contraption comes apart, and you have nothing anymore.
Sorry, are we talking about Rube Goldberg machines?
Yeah, Mousetrap.
Mousetrap.
Yeah, the game Mousetrap, which is
Rube
essentially a
Goldberg,
Rube
the
Goldberg
Yeah.
game.
board game.
So another physical party game that we touched on in the last episode, but we're going to touch on the physical version here. Uno.
Oh, yeah. I love Uno.
Oh.
Yeah, but which is worse, Uno or the variations of Uno that have come out since, like Uno Attack?
See, I've never really
Uno
played.
Attack is fucking amazing. I don't
I've
care
never
who
played
you
it.
are.
Fucking brutal.
Chris, the answer
I
to
fucking
your que-
love Uno Attack.
Nothing's worse than Monopoly. That's all I gotta say.
It is my absolute favorite thing in the world to force somebody to press the button like a bunch of fucking times in a row and have it just stream the entire deck on them.
Oh, that sounds
That
awful.
is evil.
That sounds
Chris,
awful.
the answer to your question is the augmentations and the different versions are far worse than the base game.
I don't know, man,
Oh, yeah.
because with the base game, I used to when I played it, I never played like the complete vanilla version of Uno. We always did stacks. So if like we had 4 people
Yeah.
playing or whatever else, and like say I threw a draw 2 on Zephyr, and Zephyr could choose to do the draw, to draw the 2 cards. However, if he had a draw 2, he could stack it onto UA, and now UA's got to draw 4. But wait,
Yeah,
UA's got
that's how my family always played. Like nowadays, we've like with the whole internet and Facebook and everybody, they've whole made a big showing of like it's not actually in the rules. Blah 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 blah. It's like, well, yeah, no,
That's a
duh.
house rule.
It was never in the rules. It was always a house rule. Like, why people were playing the game thinking it was an actual rule?
Well, with the stacks,
So-
I remember one time I pissed somebody off so bad because we had one of those deals where we were stacking draw twos, and then the guy right before me turned around like, I'm gonna fix this shit, and he threw out a draw 4 wild. So now it's like 28 cards that you got to draw and shit,
Oh,
and it's
wow.
on me, and I'm like,
Hell no.
I'm like, motherfucker, and I'm like, what color? And he said blue, and I was like, yes, and I threw out a fucking draw 2 blue.
I love how you
Yeah.
just get like an NFL play-by-play, like it was an ESPN Classic or something.
Now, Chris, the only reason that I would say, excuse me, that the base game was better than the other games, there is a version that is called Nonpartisan Uno. Have you heard of this?
No.
Did Hippers make this?
Did who?
Why this is the worst idea in the world. They took out all of the red and all of the blue cards to make it non-political.
Okay,
Oh, come
that's
on.
it. That's hipsters. That's
I am
freaking
not
hipsters.
joking. You can find this for $5 at Walmart.
Mattel Games has released Uno Nonpartisan, which removes all the blue and red colored cards from the game and replaces them with purple and orange cards.
Oh, come on. What's
Are
next?
you
What's
kidding
next?
me?
What's next? Guess who's gonna have where you're not allowed to ask if it's a male or a female?
Oh my God, Chris, the back of the card has a big no sign with politics in the center.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's just the color red and blue.
Motherfucker, I got a party game. I got a party game for every motherfucker that has either bought this game or designed this game. This version of Uno.
Skippo.
No. I got a party game for each and every one of you. I want you all to play tonight. Eat as many fucking Tide Pods as you can.
No, not even funny.
Stop.
No.
Do not eat Tide Pods, kids.
Oh, come on,
Never.
come on, Chris. Non-partisan Uno is
I'm just
hilarious.
That's
It
the
was
fucking
dumbest
hilarious. I
fucking
can
thing
figure
What
I've
fucking
heard.
Why?
Did anyone think, these Tide Pods seem like they should be edible? I'm just saying, that was Darwin at its finest.
I'm telling you, take
You're
the
supposed
warning
to
labels
read
off
them.
of shit, and the problem will fix itself. I'm telling you.
That's a whole different podcast, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
with
that
Chris.
sounds more in the realm of it had to be said.
I am with Chris. I don't believe we should kill all stupid people. I just think we should take the warning labels off things. And the ability to sue people for your own damn stupidity.
You're
If
talking
you
about.
get something that,
go
with
play
a
in the
product
Truffle
that's
Dance Race.
obviously not intended for that, that's on you, bro. That's on you.
You're referring to that one woman that sued McDonald's for fucking burning her lap with hot coffee.
No, because
No.
because
Right,
that
we're not
one.
even gonna get into. That we're not even gonna get into. No, I'm talking about the kid
No.
that stuck a fork in a toaster, pushed the thing down, electrocuted himself, lost 13% of the use of his right hand, and sued Craftsman for making that toaster. What fucking retard was like, I think this fork goes in this toaster. Oh, nope, I'm gonna sue him now. See, that's the reason why there's a warning sign on those that say don't put forks in them.
It says it's electric. If you do not want to get electrocuted, don't
Right?
sit in the fucking toaster.
Right?
Now, see,
If you don't want to get
Anvil-
electrocuted, stick the fork in the grounding slot.
Anvil, you see what you did? You caused Anthony to go into his Bill Cosby. You
I'm
have
serious, it's
you have Cosbified Anthem.
It's because
Hello,
of shit
with
like
the pudding.
this. Okay.
I just
it's
want
not-
you guys to take a moment and think. Every time you see a warning label, there was a lawsuit that made that necessary.
Yes, I know. I
Now I
know.
want you to fathom the stupidity of the human race that has to exist for a lot of those warning labels.
You know what? You know
Never
what? Some of them.
forget your OSHA regulations are written in blood and stupidity.
The funny thing about warning.
wrote a warning label.
The funny thing is, some warning labels kind of make sense. Like do not give the children under 3 because small parts can be swallowed and choking hazard. That's fine.
Right.
The ones that bother me are the ones like and of course I'm going a little overboard with this here. I don't think it's legit, but like you get
It's because you're old.
you get a tube of Crest and it says not intended for rectal use.
Right? Or my favorite one.
Which one of you
Yes.
motherfuckers?
Who the fuck puts it in the ass?
Did we slip into after hours and I wasn't paying
No.
attention?
No, Anthony. You know who puts it up their ass? People who are trying to get drunk.
No. To be
I
fair,
don't want a minty
the tube of
ass.
Crest was someone ran out of lube. I mean, like, follow that logic there. Think like an idiot and go, I'm out of lube. Toothpaste is kind of slippery, right? I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure the only one here who is capable of thinking like an idiot is you, Anvil.
No. Hold up. I just want to say one goddamn thing. You know the race of this person had to be Caucasian because black people are not trying to have minty assholes.
That is some white people shit.
Look,
That's not just white people
I
shit.
can't
That
even-
is Florida man level bullshit.
I usually get mad when somebody says that's some white people shit, but I can't even argue that point. It's usually white people that are the dumbasses.
Thank
Right.
you.
Also, shout out to Dak and Liam. I know they're not white people shit anymore, but
Yes, rude
that
and
used to be
reckless,
their thing.
rude and reckless podcast. Formerly white
Anyways,
people shit.
party games.
That's the cat.
That is a party game.
Or
though.
no, exploding kittens.
Exploding kittens, yes.
That's where I was gonna go.
Oh, that's
Or-
a good game.
Or another game
Specifically,
that's
the
really
not safe for
simple.
work version.
I know which game you're talking about, UA. That's the deck building game.
What?
Unstable Unicorns.
Is Unstable Unicorns a deck building game? I thought
Kinda.
it was.
I've
thought it
never
was
heard
along
of
the lines
that.
of Exploding Kittens.
Jesus, listen to
Sort
the
of along the lines
silence
of
from that.
kittens.
It was deafening, wasn't it?
It was. The way he announced it is like, exploding unicorns! Crickets.
No, the crickets didn't even want anything to do with that.
It was even better than that. It was exploding unicorns with a bit of an unstable unicorns with a bit of an echo effect, and followed by silence.
You know, it's funny. It wasn't complete silence. You actually heard the crickets leaving.
Oh my God.
Jesus, that was hard.
That was unexpected.
My heart goes out to you, Anvil.
It's okay. I'm already chasing cats.
He is thoroughly distracted and like 99.99% done with this episode.
Well, we are reaching that point anyway.
I was gonna say, is that our cue to wrap up?
It might be our cue to wrap up.
Well, what?
Condom.
The minty fresh rectal exam wasn't the cue.
I mean, that's one way to get somebody to eat ass, I guess.
Hey, whatever floats your boat. I ain't gonna judge party games. You know, this might be a BDSM party.
Hey, you never know.
That's a rough ass party.
Hey, you have the best party game.
What the fuck's the safe word? Do not put that
Dusty
in my
left
asshole.
so goddamn fast.
Oh, I know what the safe word is. Press A Gaming Podcast.
Really want a safe word. I think you should pick something shorter, like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Guacamo.
Welcome.
The cops.
Please, we all know the safe word is ET.
Seriously, though, the safe word always.
Cosby Cream.
Oh.
And on that note,
That
Chris,
joke
where can they find you?
That joke fell asleep. In the pudding pop. Hey, you can find me on most podcasts and fucking Realm of the Mist Entertainment. Just go to our YouTube channel, like, share, comment, subscribe. Go over to our sister channel, Sounds Dicey Gaming, as well for all your video game Let's Plays and tabletop role-playing stuff. We will get back to that eventually, I promise. And, of course, if you prefer your podcast in audio format, you can find all these glorious podcasts, including Press A Gaming Podcast, on Anchor.fm.
Yes, we just need to put up a now hiring sign for a DM.
Right. I've actually thought about it. Anchor.fm, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard.
And Anthony, where can we find you?
You can find me on Delivery Bros Pod on Twitter, Delivery Bros Podcast on Instagram, and on Delivery Bros KC at Facebook.com. Also, always remember, if you have a dream, just don't do the Cosby Cream.
Oh.
Dusty, where can we find you?
Not on this show anymore.
You wound me, Dusty.
It's the minty fresh Jello.
You will not get the Jello. You're gonna get the pudding box.
Hello with the pudding.
I actually can be found on the sock drawer. I'm one half of my co-host isn't here today. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on the Facebook under the sock drawer. On where else are we? On Discord is also the sock drawer. We have a link to that if you want to chat with us and not with these people. Go to our Facebook and look for that. And and that Twitter place for the sock drawer SD. Wow, you guys got me all confuzzled.
Well,
right,
you know you can get the pudding pop anytime.
All right, Black Wings, where can we find you?
Without the drink.
God, in solitary confinement, talking to my therapist after the way that this episode ended. Dear God.
Suddenly,
So you're
Cosby.
going to be having Cosby dreams?
You can find me on Facebook and on YouTube under the handle Josh or Joshua Wilson. You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch under the handle at Blackwings, Roman numeral 13. And you can also find me on the Soft Drawer, After Hours. Maybe not so much Let's Play or Press A Gaming anymore because this just got weird.
Hey,
Oh, it can get weirder, baby.
Zep.
All right, we're gonna have to set some boundaries for future Press A Gaming. Okay.
No boundaries.
Hey, Zep.
Anvil, where can we find
Hold on,
you?
Anvil, before you do. Amble, before
Hang on.
you go, I have to address something that Zephyr just said. You said suddenly Cosby. Now, does anybody remember the movie Little Shop of Horrors?
Yes, I
Yes.
love that.
As soon as Zephyr said suddenly Cosby, I had that song going into my head, the Suddenly Seymour, but I was replacing it with Cosby. Suddenly Cosby is standing beside you.
That is scarier than the damn. Oh,
All right,
God.
Angel, where can we find you?
Distracted and hungry. Usually passed out on a floor.
All right.
With some
And
minty
as
fresh
always-
rectum.
Oh, Jesus.
As
always-
Judge me.
As always, I'm your exasperated host, Zephyr Zero. Remember to press A for more great gaming content. See you next time.